Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Let's get into what has to be just the most gigantic story of this whole thing, which is no Jameis Winston today and Taysom Hill taking reps at quarterback. So let's start with Jameis and not being there today. Go ahead and give me your take on what you could tell us.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to bury the lead here, but obviously when you walk into practice, and we get to watch about 15 to 20 minutes. First thing you do when you walk into practice, as you have done many times, is see who is there. Well, you see the two red jerseys. Well, Jameis was not one of them. So we walk in during stretching. Well, the thing about last Wednesday, a week ago before the Carolina game, Jameis was present at practice, but did not do anything in that practice, but he was physically there. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you notice that he was not physically there. Now, you must understand, the practice facility, which is the Irish London Rugby Football Club, that's where the Saints practice, is about 20 minutes from the hotel that they're staying at. So you can understand if Jameis wasn't going to practice, why he wouldn't be there. Of course, when you're at the Saints facility, the training room is just inside the building, so he doesn't have far to go. So why make the trip over there if he's not going to practice in the first place? So that's the first thing. So you watch stretching, and you don't think anything of it other than he's not physically there. Well, then you see the walkthrough portion of practice, and yes, there's Andy Dalton taking first-team reps, and there's Taysom Hill, who, remind you, was inactive for the Carolina Panthers, wearing a white jersey, not a red jersey, taking snaps at center as a quarterback. And look, I have been to literally every practice since July 27th. It was pretty obvious that he had taken snaps out of the media's viewing at quarterback, because we have seen him take snaps at quarterback, especially in the Atlanta Falcons game when the Saints scored the first touchdown of the season. The media has not seen one rep of Taysom Hill at quarterback since training camp began. And if you could have seen the expression on everybody's faces, especially the people who have been there since day one, they're like, well, wait a second. And of course, you can't say anything on social media, Matt, until practice is officially over. So, I mean, everyone who was there has been covering the team for this long. Were literally shaking. They wanted to tweet so badly and just couldn't do it. I mean, it was like convulsion. So, like, everybody's tweets were already drafted, and then boom, at 2:45, when everybody got the go-ahead that the Saints had finished, boom. So everyone had been sitting on that for 2 hours. But that was, without question, the storyline today, because we just have not seen it.
Yeah.
And he was not running Wildcat. He was throwing the football. So, and we heard from Dennis Allen after that this had been kind of the plan all along. And you think about why he was inactive last week. Was he healthy enough to go? Maybe. But if they knew that he was possibly going to play quarterback at next week, maybe because of Jameis's health, did they hold Taysom Hill out because he might be playing quarterback in the very near future? It's just a lot of things were going through a lot of people's minds today.
Is it plausible to think, all right, Jameis is still going to go, Dalton's still the backup, but in the event that they need an emergency quarterback, if Jameis has a setback, that Taysom would be Dalton's backup, so that's why they're just getting him reps now?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, again, it was out there for the world to see. I mean, they hit him when you can't watch practice. He was taking snaps. We just didn't know it, but he was taking snaps today. So I don't think there's any question that they're preparing him to play in case. And again, remember, Jameis did not participate in practice last Wednesday, and they worked him into it. So, by all accounts, according to Dennis Allen today, according to Jameis Winston, who, and credit to him, he was not happy that he did not practice today. He was held out. I mean, the Saints are trying to give him as much rest as possible, but they worked him into it, and obviously he played the entire game on Sunday. So is that going to be the case this week? We'll see. And especially, when we walk in there tomorrow, what's the first thing people are going to look? Is Jameis here or not? We're going to find out.
I would suspect he will be, right? I mean, that's what they've done so far. Is they've given him a rest day on Wednesday and then allowed him to go limited Thursday and Friday. I want to get into some of the other on-field things here in a moment, but Graff, I could take a minute because look, the team left straight from Carolina to go to London, so it's been 3 days now. What have these 3 days been like for the team and the whole traveling contingent there?
Yeah, I look, and full disclosure, I left a few hours after the team did. So the team got in at 7 a.m. on Monday morning. I left with a couple of my colleagues later that night from Charlotte. So our flight was delayed. Obviously, the charter flight was not. The team got in at 7. We got in at about 12:15. The downside of traveling commercially, Matt. But look, it took me, again, just me personally. I crashed and burned Monday night just because. I mean, you're 6 hours ahead of where you would normally be. So they kind of experienced the same things. But we heard from a few of the players today that Will Lutz went to the UEFA friendlies and watched England and Germany in Wembley. He went and watched a soccer match on Monday night, and Eric McCoy and James Hurst took their wives out to a town next to where they're staying and kind of had a night out. And Mark Davenport said that he walked to town on Monday. So the first couple of days you got to adjust. I mean, me personally, right now, I'm pretty much back to where I need to be. So, and again, I'm not a world-class athlete. I would think everything's okay now. And again, look, you're in the week, so the routine's going up. And there have been many theories on do you stay the week. And look, the Vikings are leaving tomorrow night. They're on a very short type of schedule. But the theories are each way. The Saints have been there. This is the third time they've been here. The first 2 times they've been here the entire week, they've won both games. I read an article today, one of the Vikings higher-ups who made the decision to come for the Vikings to leave late, said he's done it 4 times. 2 times the team he was involved in stayed the whole week, and 2 times he went and it was short, like the Vikings are doing. He said absolutely going there for the less amount of days is the way to go. So the theories are, I think, me personally, I think that the Saints are doing this because, A, it's been successful for them in the past, and Dennis Allen was obviously here in 2017, the last time the Saints were here. And remember, the Saints pitched a shutout against Miami Dolphins that morning. Morning back to New Orleans. And I think a lot of it, too, is Dennis Allen loves to be just strictly football. Where they're staying right now, they're pretty much sequestered. I mean, there's not a whole lot that they're able to do at the hotel that they're staying at. And I think Dennis Allen loves that. Just they're around each other. Now that, the Monday and Tuesday, you're off on Tuesday. And now that they're into the rest of the work week, they're not going to be doing a whole lot except, studying football and getting ready for this game on Sunday.
Yeah. Graff, back on the field, the injury report is already out today. It is extensive. There are 9 players on it. I mean, it is just this looks like a banged up team for a team that, seemingly largely avoided a lot of that in the preseason. It's kind of coming to roost again. What else seems significant to keep an eye on before Sunday morning's game?
Well, here's the other storyline to me, Matt. Michael Thomas was not there today, and Jarvis Landry was present but was working on the side. If those 2 guys can't go, who steps up in their presence? Now, in their absence, I should say. Chris Olave has been fantastic. But here's the thing. Chris Olave is wide receiver 3. So Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry are 1 and 2. Well, how does Chris Olave make the adjustment if Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry don't play? Because now he becomes the go-to guy. Now you think about it, Jameis has really, really gone to Olave now 26 targets in the last 2 games. So there's something that Jameis really feels comfortable with as far as Chris Olave goes. But he hasn't been double-teamed in the first 3 games. If those 2 guys don't play, well, then if I'm a defensive coordinator, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator, I'm saying don't let 12 beat us. Let's see what the other guys can do. Now, I know you're going to chuckle, but it was actually good to see Tre'Quan Smith back out there today because you didn't know after he slammed his head on the turf in Carolina if he was going to play this week. Tre'Quan Smith had over 100 yards receiving against the Panthers. And here's another thing, too. Deontay Hardy, who was inactive against Carolina, was back on the practice field today, too. So if Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry don't go, you're going to have those guys step up because obviously, I mean, the troubles on offense have been well documented. Now, I just think it is such a self-inflicted wounds type of deal. And the ironic thing is, Matt, you could say that the running backs, which, you've got Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, those 2 guys have committed the biggest turnovers of the season so far. The Ingram fumble against Tampa. And, I mean, I know you went far and wide about what happened on Sunday, but I was there, Matt. That crowd was this close, and I'm holding my thumb and index finger that you could put an index card in between them. They were ready to turn on their own team, and then, boom, Alvin Kamara fumbled. They ran it back in for a touchdown, and it completely flipped the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no doubt. That was just the missed field goal, the blocked field goal, I mean, just changed the whole game. Man, it feels super urgent for this team. Graff, we're running a little short on time here, man, but
Yep.
I want to give a shout out to a young Graff who's back home on a birthday today.
Yeah, my son Jack turned 6 today.
Hey.
Hey, look, I know it's what you sign up for. That's the job, and I'm not home, but I know they're in the car right now. So happy birthday, Jack! Love you. I miss you. And Daddy will be home in 7 days because, Matt, I'm off to Chicago after the Saints game because the Pelicans preseason game is next Tuesday. So, yes, no rest for the weary.
Right, your life is basically over till June.
Yes, it is, but I enjoy it. That's what I do, Matt. That's what I do.
No doubt, man. Graff, we appreciate the time, man. Safe travels. We'll visit again soon, all right?
Cheerio.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.